Yay! Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, everybody. I hate, I hate when the metaverse sends messages that go on top of what I'm trying to do, and I can't see the prompt. So, Maria Graham, thank you. Thank you for coming. And welcome, 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 Maria Graham. I see Maria saying hello to Jared. I don't see Jared, but thank you and welcome, welcome, welcome. Unbiased LLC is speaking to them. So, welcome everybody. I would like to say, well, first of all, I want to welcome everybody in the bushes, moderators, subscribers, channel members, and those of you visiting for the first time. Unbiased said she can hear and see me loud and clear. I'm just being silly. Just silly Nana. So, I would like to start off by praying for those who are not feeling well and who are here to support the channel no matter what. Maria Graham was the first name that popped up. She's not feeling well. She had a procedure. She's home from the hospital. Dolores has not been feeling well. Prayers, Dolores. Who else? Joanne Stevens has not been feeling well. Anybody who's not feeling well. And this crazy weather, I'm in Connecticut, zone 6B. It's 78 degrees here, you guys. Joanne Stevens is pink hand waving. I appreciate you guys. So, I was trying not to get my knickers in a knot. I know uh, in the past, like when I first started, and I would get a phone call, or Unbiased would call me, or Dolores or somebody, and say, just don't panic. Juanita Campbell, thank you for coming, and welcome, welcome, welcome to my old neck of the woods down in North Carolina. I see something over here that I haven't seen before. I wonder what happens if I click it. Oh, because I'm famous for clicking stuff. I try stuff, but I'm not going there because I know what'll happen. But it says there's Halloween music. They're not tricking me into doing that and to blasting you all off the air. Yeah, they know I'm a little daredevil. Joanne Stevens says it's only 47 degrees in Arizona. Here, sissy. Here's some hot air. I sent you a breath of hot air. So let's do some icebreakers. So you guys, how many of you know what America's favorite game is or supposed to be? Can you put it in the chat? What sport is supposed to be America's sport? Put it in the chat if you know. I'm trying to see what happens if I push that button. Nope. Okay. I'm not doing that. Uh-oh, I'm not doing that. Uh-oh, now I can't. I don't want to do that. Uh-oh, I think I did something. You got that. What 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 sport is supposed to be America's sport? I actually sang the song for it a couple of weeks ago because I was reading a book about Maria Graham's password. No. Baseball. Awkward quilter from Georgia. And welcome, sir. Thank you. I have gotten to see you from the woods or the bushes. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. And what is America's favorite pie supposed to be? Because it's in season as well. What pie is supposed to be the national pie of America? While you guys are thinking of that, I am going to sing my song. And the Dodgers won! Yay! Hoo-hoo-hoo. Take me out to the ball game. Take me, I don't have the word, out with the crowd. Buy, Maria Graham is right, apples. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back, 'cause it's woo, woo, woo for the home team. Da, 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 da. If we don't win, it's a crime, 'cause it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Thank you, Awkward Quilter from Georgia. All of you, especially those of you who are here for the first time, not especially, but on this channel, we would like to get to know you. You guys, let's welcome Awkward Quilter. He is a regular on Greenland Katie's channel. She's here. She's saying hello. My quilting friends, hello, hello, hello. I like almost all sports, baseball. Actually, the Dodgers are my favorite team. They have been forever. I had some more gear, but I didn't want to be so like we try not to do politics, talk about it. I want you all to participate. I want you all to practice whatever religion or not practice if you don't want to. Gina, hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. But she said it's a shame what my singing. So put an exclamation mark GQUAT. Let me see if I can do that. GQUAT in the chat, and it will drop your channel. It will drop your channel. So it says I can't post messages to some channels. That's okay. Thank you, Nightbot. You can be good sometimes if you want to. So you guys, I was so tired. I have had such a busy week. Let's see, Sunday morning after going live for like 2 hours, I went to the farmer's market and I got so much stuff. So much stuff. I actually pulled my neck, my back, something. I had a little cart. I had Hershey in it. We walked all over the place, and I can't walk very far or stand very long. In the last 3 years, I've had 3 major joint replacements. I had a hip replacement in 2019, then 2022 or 3, I had or maybe it was 22 and 23, a right knee replacement. Then just this February, I had a left knee replacement. Tampa's Creek, Homestead, and more. Welcome. Thank you for coming, and welcome, welcome, welcome. And congratulations. I understand is in order that you bought some property closer here on the East Coast. Congratulations. Congratulations. And you know what? I don't see her here in the chat right now. I commend everybody who is getting their own property, living on their own land, growing their own food. Almost homesteading with Janet has just bought. Why were you thinking you shouldn't be sitting here? You thinking you should be working? Awkward quilter? Oh, boy, because you didn't see the quilting stuff? Did the USA? Oh, the USA goes back to regular time this coming Saturday. This coming Saturday. So, family moderators, please welcome the new people in Tampa Creek. Awkward Quilter. Katie Greenland is family. Well, you know what? I say about this channel, good friends become family, and family is everything. And you know what? To that point, sometimes, like with all families, we don't see eye to eye on everything, or maybe somebody says something that doesn't come across the right way, it's not interpreted. But you know what I think is important? I think it's important that we look each other in the eye, we talk about it, and just go on. Daddy used to have a saying before he passed, and we would be talking about something, or the sisters and brothers or somebody would be, at odds. Right now it is 4 East Coast time. It is 4:12, Katie. Daddy used to say, okay, that's enough of that, let's just go on. Let's just go on with that. That's enough of that. Let's just keep kicking the can forward. So, that being said, oh, I left it over there. But I finally, you guys, at the farmer's market, woo, it's actually heavy because it's fresh. Tampa's Creek saying it's 4:12. Oh, I didn't know she was on the East Coast time. Darth X, welcome. This is a whole container of hard neck garlic. See all this? And these are hard neck, doesn't get as big as some of the other garlics, but this is fresh, fresh, fresh. You see the roots on them and stuff. So I have a pound of it. And hey, Miss Shirley OG Gardner. By the way, Miss Shirley OG Gardner is going live tonight. If anybody else is going live after I get off, oh, Katie said she's normally 3 hours ahead, and now we're not. I don't know how to. Oh, yes, I do. You know what you guys can do in your phone? In the time zones, you can put the place that you want. Tampa's Creek said she's still in Indiana for now until you move to your land. Good for you. You know what I wanted to tell you guys? That there, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. I got a text on my phone today. I'm on the East Coast, I'm in Connecticut. The coast of Maine is up there where it's pure and clean, where the deer and the antelope play. No, where the deer hunting and everything. There is a warning not to eat any deer or some other kind of meat that hunters get because of, wait a minute, let me see if I can find it. Because of it's a recall basically for wild meat. Can you freaking imagine? Mother, hi. I didn't say that, Mom. I didn't say freaking. I was being good, Mom. I was trying to anyway. But the devil's always busy, ain't he? Ain't he? So, let me see. I don't want to do that. I'm trying to pull it up. Oh, Maine warns hunters to throw out deer and turkey meat after tests reveal high levels of forever chemicals in some areas. What the what? Forever chemicals? Come on, man. Come on, man. One of the things at the farmers market, I know a lot of the growers there, and the farmers markets is only 3 weeks, 3 blocks away from my handicap apartment. A lot of the seniors in my building actually walk over there on Sunday mornings. I'm supposed to be in church. So somebody logged in church on Sunday, acted like they were in church, and sneaked over and went to the farmer's market. I got so much stuff, you guys. I had a little video out about it, and I got some stuff for myself and a neighbor. Oh, Greenland Katie is saying because humans are dumping stuff in the water. I mean, I had been craving a salad because I didn't want to eat any greens from the store. I didn't want to eat any greens in the store. I didn't have any more in my garden. I think I have a little bit more Swiss chard and kale. But I bought Seville cabbage. I bought regular cabbage. I bought bok choy. I bought parsley. I bought I had a list of it, but I'll attach it to the chat. I bought about 20 veggies. Then I had a regular food delivery on Monday. Had to put all that stuff out. Maria Graham, you saw my video? You have to learn how to make quilts. I'll be happy to teach you. Oh, Tampa's Creek. In fact, the quilt that you can do almost just from listening to me talk tonight, because I just finished one. I have a little itinerary that I print out, but I was going to show you guys anyway. So I usually go through the G, like the gardening, the quilting, that's next. But I want you to see something, you guys, because it's coming down tomorrow. You see that big bowl on top of the bookcase? G Mama grows hard in the garden. Well, it's coming down because I ordered 2 cases of collards from a local farm that my family has been dealing with for 25 years. We've always grown something, and Daddy used to grow our greens. And Robin Murphy, thanks for coming and welcome. And I told Mommy that I'm going to get 2 cases of collards so that I'm usually the collard preparer for the meals because I'm the one who has the time to get the good greens. I have a few in my garden, but they're somewhat. But this one I'm getting, and the bunches are like this big. So I'm getting 12 of them. 3 are for a neighbor across the hall. 2 are for one of my friends upstairs. And I will cut. Oh, come back Saturday, you guys. Live, I will be cutting collards and parboiling them, putting them in the freezer. Some people don't parboil them. I do because they take up less space. I'm space challenged here. I moved into a 1 bedroom handicapped apartment. So what I have is 800 square feet. No, God, I'm not complaining. I'm just talking to my family over here. Why? Because good friends become family, and family is everything. Oh, a little secret, you guys. I haven't been eating as many vegetables as I usually do because I was feeling some kind of way about the veggies from the store. So I stacked up on enough stuff so I can can my own. But my little t-shirt, my little Dodgers t-shirt I was going to wear today, it was a little tight across the tummy, y'all. I said, I'm not sitting there for 2 hours holding my stomach in. So I took it off. So don't go Tampa, because now we're going to talk about quilting. You're waiting for winter collards for Thanksgiving? Awkward quilter. I'm glad you said that because I was just going to tell you, you know what Mommy said when I told her I was going to get the collards this weekend? This is the first picking. And we've had some cold nights, although the last couple days it's been really warm. First thing Mommy said, has the frost hit them? Well, I live about an hour away from my mom, and up there where the farms are, it's like up in the hills. I'm in a little microclimate, and so it's warmer where I am, but the frost has hit the ground where I'm going to pick up the collards, and Saturday, I will be the first one there. So Tampa's Creek, let me show you. Well, for one thing, everybody needs a neckbone pillow. I will show you that next. So 2 of my great-granddaughters, and what a blessing. What Mother Miss Shirley OG saying hello. It is such a blessing to have 9 grandchildren. I have 2. Well, when I say I have 2, I have a lot that I claim, but my DNA grandchildren, I have one son, one daughter, one granddaughter, one grandson. And a funny thing, my apartment put something on the door to put down my emergency contacts. Well, my son and daughter have like my medical powers of attorney. Darth X is in a 9A microclimate. Whoa. I thought you were still in Canada or somewhere. I'm usually in 9B this time of year because my birthday is in 2 weeks. I'll be celebrating in 2 Thursdays. Might do a little giveaway. You just have to come and see. But my sister Joanne Stevens is in Arizona 9B, and so is one of my brothers. So this is a pink birthday present for one of my great granddaughters, bisnieta in Espanol, and I made it for her, but I also made her, putting you here, I putting wait, before I show you that, I want to show you something because Tampa Creek was saying that this pillow, Tampa's Creek, I have a video and we can do it live. I will invite you to come up live with a sewing machine and we can do it if somebody else wants to. But speaking of family, we were talking about family crests a couple of weeks ago, and this is the Thomas family crest. My mother, my mother's family is from Pennsylvania, has been for the last couple hundred years, and this is their family crest. And oh, the farthest northwest, Vancouver Island. Okay, and her great grandfather came over from the UK in the 1700s, and I know this is probably backwards, but anyway, he had 8 sons, and the way the laws were written then, the laws of inheritance went from the oldest son to the next son, like in England. King Charles, oh, you want to hear something? My Maria Graham has a neck bone pillow. She says she loves it. She uses it every night. Auntie Joanne and Uncle Roscoe have two. They both use them every night. When their dog their Shih Tzu, Mr. Hershey's daughter, doesn't steal it. So Auntie Joanne and I are from this first branch of the Thomas family tree, which is the Henry branch. And what was I going to tell you? So many things to tell you guys. But anyway, that is the Thomas branch. Poof. So this is the easiest quilt to make. And what you do is you make a quilt sandwich, and you can make your blocks any size that you want. And this one happens to be 10.5 inches. Why? Because you can get so much out of it. I really didn't like this pink fabric. I bought 10 yards of it on sale, so I just used it. But the girls will like it just because Nana made it. So what you do is you make a quilt sandwich, and there's a front, there's a back, and you're 48 and have a little small brown pillow. You sleep with it every night. And when you go out, I used to have one, and I put cotton inside. I like cotton. You can use whatever you want. But when you fringe it, so what you do is you put the sandwich together, you sew an X across one side. I usually chain piece them, put an X go on the other side, and put them all together. This one will be for actually my eldest great granddaughter, but and they outgrew theirs because their quilts because they're. Oh, and I will say this: when you make a quilt, make it so they can grow into it. My great granddaughters are 5'8" and 5'10", so they're you could be my granddaughter, Tampa Creek, 48. You could be my granddaughter. So, oh, and then after you sew this together and you make your seams at least 5/8 of an inch. Maybe you can see this color better. And then you sew them. You don't have to, but I backspace on the edge of each of my squares because I know that my quilts are going to get some, they're going to get some wear and tear. And then you take scissors and you fringe them every 1/4 inch. Now, I have the scissors over here. I may have knocked them over. No, they're here somewhere. I don't see black very well, but I'll probably see it before we finish. So this is called a rag quilt. A rag quilt. So this great granddaughter got her first apartment, her and her 4-year-old, and she said, Nana, you have to make me a quilt. I'm like, go home. I already have one of yours started, so I'm trying to get them finished for Christmas. I have so much stuff to do. But her little sister's is finished, all except for the fringing. So this is Sydney Bean's quilt, and I made hers. I left the numbers on so that you could see it. It I hope I didn't get lipstick on it. It's going to be washed anyway. But I used what I had. I used what I had. I have bits and pieces, but so it's 6 blocks across and 8 down. Each of these blocks will probably finish out about 9 inches. So 9 times 6 is about 54, and 9 times 8 is 72. So it'll be about 6 feet tall. And even after it's washed and put in the hot dryer and shriveled up, it will be a good size pillow. And for those of you who, I don't know if you can see that pile of these, this is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 pillows, plus this one. I have about 16 ready for the holidays because I have to do things a little bit at a time. I can't rush. I can't rush. Uh, they say I don't look like what I've been through, but I'll tell you what. The King of England, the whole king, his birthday is November 13th, 1948. The exact day is me. Now, this guy is a multi millionaire, maybe a billionaire, certainly one of the richest people in the world and getting richer. But you know what? All that money didn't make him any prettier. Just saying. Just saying. And not being mean, just telling the truth. So I tried to use all this stinking pink, all this pink. But and I'll tell you what, you know what I really bought it for? And I don't know if she's still in the chat. Maybe she's laying down taking a nap and I don't have to tell the truth. But I bought it because Dolores likes pink and I have her quilt to get out by Christmas. So I bought this pink for the color, but the quality, I didn't feel good putting in her quilt. So I bought a different one and I said I would use this one for the girls because you know what? It's like you taste something and you're cooking and your oldest daughter's birthday is tomorrow. And 2 grandkids' birthday on November the 15th. You know what I always say, and I've said it in this chat. I don't know what holiday was 10 months before right now, but there sure are a lot of Scorpio babies. So let's talk about quilting a little bit more because I need you guys to vote and to help me with something. Thank you, Tampa Creek. She said that's gorgeous. She likes that. One of my friends has, I don't know how many grandchildren. She has like maybe 9 or 10 and a lot of sisters and brothers. I taught her how to make this quilt about 10 years ago when I was on the homestead in North Carolina. She made 53 of those because they're simple. You don't, it's like one of those no brainer quilts. You just sew. You don't have to be particularly careful. So that one was Sydney's, and this one is Simone's. Simone's is just gray flannel in the back because she has a 4-year old, and I thought the baby would like the small flannel. Sydney's quilt, I forgot to show you the back of it. It's just, I didn't have enough of this paisley in the back. I used stuff out of my stash. I used what I had. So I had some more of the pink. I put a little bit of the pink and I laid it out on the bed so I could balance it and it would be evenly spaced. So they will get their quilts. They will. Now, I have a couple more things I want to show you in the quilting area. I was going to crochet you guys today. Told my sister Joanne Stevens. For those of you who are new, Joanne Stevens is my biological sister. Joanne Stevens said it's her great grandson's birthday tomorrow. And he'll be, what is it? 4. He'll be 5 tomorrow, my nephew. So I'm pulling strings off. I always have strings. So we're not crocheting today because I didn't have enough. Oh, here they are. Well, they don't make these. These are called rag quilt scissors. Thank you, Maria. Maria Graham says it's a beautiful quilt. Can you embroider names? Yes, you can. Tampa, before you sew the blocks together, you can put their names on it. And guess what, you guys? You don't need a an embroidery machine. I will show you something. I have what's called a crazy quilt on my wall up there. I have a lot of art. All those paintings and stuff you see, that's a wood burning at the bottom. But up top, up there, the crazy quilt, up there in the corner, it says Ellen Pankey 2008. I hand embroidered that. And that crazy quilt has lace on it, has crochet, buttons, jewelry, oh, you name it. All kinds of American fabric, velvet, African fabric, Native American fabric, a Native American pin. There's a reservation here in Connecticut called the Mashantucket Pequot, and I went there when I used to teach part time in the after school program. In the summertime, we would take the kids up there or take them to powwows. Ooh, I love you. I love you, Dodgers, but this hat is hot. Oh, or is it me? Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Lord. LORDT. Oh, you can learn how to crochet. It's like I've been crocheting, and my sister Joanne, my granddaughter Sharita. No, Sharita, she comes in the chat sometimes. One day I accidentally said her age. She comes in. First of all, Nana, but she's been crocheting since she was about, actually, she was a teenager. But my grandmother taught Joanne Stevens and I how to crochet before we started elementary school because that was a way of keeping us out of trouble. And we weren't allowed to watch TV until the weekend. So let's see. Oh, I threw it too far. But that little bag that I threw had some knitting and some crochet in it. They didn't let they didn't let us knit when I was real little. Knitting needles are real pointed, and there were 6 of us, so we didn't have pointy stuff unnecessarily. Although we did have quote. Yeah, you guys, thank you for hitting the thumbs up button. Mike, Chaotic Gardening says, hello. And he just had a birthday this week. Happy birthday to ya and to Tampa's children and grandchildren, and to my little nephew, and to everyone who's a Scorpio and has a birthday coming up or just past a birthday. So let me see if I have any more chit chat before I get you to vote, because we're going to sew live and work on a project. I usually have, like most quilters, 50,000 things working on. Oh, you see these two table runners in back of me? I have to get at least one of them finished within 2 weeks, because that's going to be a giveaway on my birthday. So this is the backing for this one. I'm just going to do a flip and sew, flip it and put a few little rows of stitching. And this will be the backing on this one. It'll have a cotton middle. Mike says it's snowing here. It was 80 degrees on Tuesday. Whoa, 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 whoa. So this is what I need your opinion on, you guys. So the next quilt I'm going to show you is what is traditional quilting. Wait, no, I got other stuff to show you. I see in this pile of stuff on my lap. So let me put it forward. So I just wanted to tell you about some of the UFOs. Look at these beautiful half square triangles with tea-dyed, no, it's not tea-dyed fabric. Oh, I see. I love batiks. Deborah Garrett, welcome in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love batiks. These are half square triangles. They are the most versatile block that you can make ever, ever, ever. I'm going to hold this close to the screen so that you can see how pretty the neutrals are. You never have enough neutrals, you guys. Always, whenever you see nice neutrals, buy them. Because no matter if you buy jelly rolls, yardage, whatever, you never have enough light fabrics. I was looking at this one back here, which is a tea-dyed muslin. I don't know how many of these blocks there are, but they're all batiks. They're all batiks, blues and greens that I cut up because I was going to make something. And then I ended up with some health issues, ended up legally blind, couldn't sew for a few years. So I'm just grabbing all my stuff out. And I was looking for some binding for a quilt that should have been finished. I've been working on it for 2 years. So I have these, but I'm always working on several things at one time. I never get bored, number one. And there are 5 different stages, like selecting the fabrics is 1, then ironing them, 2, cutting them, just bunches of things, sewing them, quilting them or sending them to the long armor, getting them back, and putting the binding on them. I'll show you which stage the next one is. So you can buy pieces. I found this at this piece of fabric. It's actually going to go in the denim quilt. I don't want to shake it too much because it's dusty. But I'm going to cut it up into blocks because they are lighthouses. They are lighthouses. Now, I'm going to wash this. I'll do it in a little while. But whenever you buy fabrics, you guys, and you pre-wash them, you don't have to pre-wash them. You take your scissors and you snip a little corner off each of the 4 corners. And then you wash them, and then you won't ravel them. Why did I save this one? My son lives in LA. He says, Mom, don't make me a quilt. It's hot. I don't need a quilt here. Well, you're getting a denim quilt because one day when your dear old mom is gone and you don't have anything to hold on to, this will bring you comfort and peace. So this fabric has like a bunches of lighthouses. And why I thought this was so appropriate for him, because my kids swim like sharks. My son was a lifeguard when he was 16. Auntie Joanne's husband, Uncle Roscoe, was also a lifeguard. My daughter swims like a shark. My granddaughter and grandson swim like sharks. That we have family Olympics, and you should see them swimming. My son actually goes out in the ocean and touches dolphins and stuff. The water's not cold like in Greenland where Katie is. So here is Breer Island. I thought Aaron would like seeing all these lighthouses. Breer Island Lighthouse, Nova Scotia. That's not too far from me. Sturgeon Point Lighthouse in Michigan. Point Wilson Lighthouse. When I lived in North Carolina, I forget the name of the lighthouse, but that lighthouse was the furthest east in the Atlantic Ocean on the East Coast. Flying from Connecticut, going to Florida, you're over water until you get to about North Carolina, and then you're over, you can see the land if you're down low enough. Okay. Oh, Cape Hatteras, duh. Cape Hatteras Lighthouse in North Carolina is the furthest east in the off the North American coast here. Pigeon Point Lighthouse, California. Ponce de Leon Lighthouse in Florida. So I'm going to cut this up in pieces and use it for backing for a quilt for my son. And the next thing I wanted to show you guys, a show and tell, is what I was supposed to be making for myself for Christmas. Thank you, Deborah Carrot says, beautiful colors, Maria Graham. Thank you. So this is a Christmas panel that I bought, I want to say 15 years ago. Excuse me, the dust, my allergies. Mike's gonna share his snow for free. That's funny. So this is actually going to be the backing of this. You see it has little Christmas trees going every which way. But here's the panel. It doesn't matter which way I turn it because you're going to be seeing the words backwards anyway. So I thought this was cute. So I was just going to hem it, do a little bit of in the ditch or near a ditch or upside down the ditch and make it. But I got so much stuff to finish for Christmas. I don't know if it'll get done. And it says this is copyrighted fabric. It says Trina's Little Bit of Christmas by Trina Hegdashi for General Fabrics Company. Okay. So the last thing I show you before you vote on, oh no, next to the last. So I was looking for fabric for, it looks like Dr. Seuss, it does. I was looking for fabric for the thing that I want you to vote on in a minute. And what I found was this apron that was hand embroidered years ago by, happened to be a German lady. And how I know is someplace I was working, one of my coworkers had a pickup truck. And he said that a guy paid him to clean out his storage shed. Well, the guy's wife had passed away, and his new girlfriend didn't want the wife's quilting and sewing in her she shed. Hey, PIA, passionately intrigued arts and more, who is also a content creator, gardener, sewer, and artist. So, oh, but look at this. Auntie Ellen is queen size. This ain't even gonna go around, isn't, mother. It's not even going around half of my waist. So while I had it out and I had some unbleached muslin, I was gonna put some extensions on it so I could wear it. I thought it was the cutest. So that's why I still have it, because I gave the rest of them away. But look at all this little hand crochet. I mean, embroidery. You don't see this stuff anymore. This is wearable art. Wearable art, wearable art. Now, here's one piece that is not wearable. It is art. One of my friends gave it to my birthday a couple years ago, my friend Shonda, and this is a hand printed hand printed piece of fabric that she got from somewhere from Africa. I wanted you to see the back. And maybe I can show it to you in sections. I don't know if this guy was supposed to be upside down or what, but it's really, really beautiful. It needs a good press and some stabilizer on it, even if just interfacing and put in a nice frame. I'll probably do it myself because I'm cheap. And one has to stay on one's budget, doesn't one? When one reaches my age. Okay. Oh, here's the book that I had for Rai Rai. I packed so much stuff on the chair. This is a book about several of the big baseball stadiums and the history of baseball. It's for my 4-year-old great grandson. I don't have as many as you, Tampa, but I have. Oh, I got down to the 2 grandchildren, 5 great grandchildren, and 1 great grandson. So here were the words to the song in here. And by the way, you guys, Fernando Valenzuela is a Dodger great who passed away. His birthday is tomorrow, and they will be honoring him in the Dodgers parade tomorrow. So here's the song. This is a book by Lynn Curley, and it teaches small children and some adults about the game of baseball, America's pastime. There are the words: take me out to the ball game, take me out with the crowd, buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back, let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. La la la. So now we're ready to vote. This next quilt I've been working on for 3 years, but maybe 4, for sure 3, but it's not my fault because at that time I was legally blind and had to have some surgery. Now I can see out of one eye. Tampa's Creek says her oldest granddaughter is 10 and everyone is younger all the way down to 1. Oh, that's so sweet. So, oh, my mother got married at 17. Daddy was 21. By the time she was 27, her all by herself had 6 kids. And I was 10. I was the oldest. My baby brother Joe. So there's 10 years from the youngest to the oldest of us. And we were all in one house. So now what I'm going to show you is a masterpiece. It really is. I'm not saying it bragging. I'm saying because I took my time and worked on it. And what it is an Underground Railroad story quilt. So we're not going to refight the Civil War, y'all. All this is a quilt that tells a story, but it's my story. I made it my own. It's similar to the ones in some of the books, except I made my own blocks with their own meanings. And this, I made 2. I made one in batiks This one's in African fabric. But don't leave. I want every one of you to vote on which binding to put. So these are the different blocks. I sent it to a long armor, and this is the back of it. It's beautifully long armed. So a couple of weeks ago, I'm going to leave the camera down, you guys, because I was pulling out. Usually, when I make a quilt, I not only buy the fabric for the binding, I also cut it. But things got discombobulated. I've moved around in the last 10 years. And by the way, I took this out. I just dropped it. It's not alive unless I drop something. I don't know if you can see up close. This is what's called, it's actually double sided. I like scrappy binding too, but this quilt is too busy for scrappy. I have some binding already done for some quilts, and I love scrappy backings too. Tina, the New Orleans gardener, and Sister Linda, thank you for coming and welcome. Tampa Creek says more. So this is what a 1/4 inch seam looks like. I don't want you to be fooled by putting a 1/4 inch foot on your sewing machine when you're following a pattern and saying that, oh, mine will come out. It will not. All 1/4 inch feet are not equal, and they don't mean it's a 1/4 inch. You actually have to take your ruler, and where the needle goes down in the hole in your sewing machine, you need to calibrate your own machine and measure it and see where the 1/4 inch is. Okay. Now, there are little gadgets that you can do that. I know Unbiased has one because I saw her buy it. So now we have this quilt. Let me show you the front again with all these different fabrics. This is why I'm not making this one scrappy. Um, where's the sailboat? The sailboat goes at the bottom. Okay. So we've got all these colors, all these, all these, and they look great together. However, when I was going through fabrics, I was trying to find something that looked like, since it was African fabrics, African colors, and I pulled this out. I sewed it together, made the binding, and look at it. You see this? I hated it. I hate it. So, like I was saying, it's like you're cooking, you taste something, the taste wasn't right for me. So, whoop, bye. That's number one. So then I kept looking in my bits and pieces of fabric to find something to use for the binding on this one. Well, this one, some of the blocks has a little bit of gold in it. So this is the bow ties block. So I saw this gold fabric and I said, "Oh, this is pretty." But when I looked at it in the scheme of things, when I looked at it with all this, it was too gaudy. It was too loud. It's like the Three Little Bears and the porridge. None of these were right. None of these were right. So then, so that's number two. So then I found a third one. I don't know, and these were batiks. And I decided that I like this one the best. I even cut it up just today, and the binding is ready to sew on here because I had a physical assessment. When you get a certain age, they check you to see if you're getting dementia or whatever. And I was supposed to have this quilt finished for Black History Month. It wasn't finished, or the one next to it. So when the doctor came and asked me the 3 words to remember till the end, and she said, "Well, you were supposed to finish a project. Did you finish it?" "No." It's sitting in there. It's long armed and everything. There's no reason why I shouldn't put the binding on this little quilt. So, you guys, I would like each of you, there are 18 of you in here. I would like 18 votes, please. Number one, if you like the kente cloth fabric for the binding. Number two, the gold fabric. Or number three, this number gold batik. So, which one do you guys like? I thought this one would just set it off nicely. Just like the baby bear's porridge, just right. Not too much, not too little, just right. Hi, Tamika Davis. Did I say hi already? I don't know. So, which one do you vote for? One, kente cloth, two, grassy gold, or three, this gentle gold at the end. I You like Tampa likes two, awkward Quilter Georgia three, Mike three, Joanne Stevens three, Maria Graham three. That's okay, Tampa. Every, Everybody likes something different. Maria Graham three, Juanita Campbell three, Tamika Davis says yes. I guess she's saying yes. I did speak to her. Okay, you guys. So So the majority of you say that you like three. So three is ready. Now I want to ask you one more question because I want to do something with you live. Do you want me to work on because I need your help. I need you to keep me company for an hour. Why? Because good friends become family and family is everything. And by the way, those of you who are new, this was my lead goat's bell. I did live. Oh, for those of you who don't know, this is a variety channel, and I have lived in big towns, small towns, big houses, off grid. I've had animals, horses, dogs, big dogs, meaning Cane Corso Italian Mastiffs. I had one cow. I've had pigs, goats, ducks, Muscovy ducks, chickens. My Muscovy duck's chow was so flat. I mean, so fat. Hey, Dolores, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. And my ducks were so fat they could not even fly. They were fat, fat, fat. But yes, I did eat duck meat, and these are the type that the fancy French restaurants charge $40 a plate. But they were my friends. They had names. I couldn't eat them. So if I wanted some duck meat to eat, I would have to put the animals. I was such a wimp. I had to put them on somebody else's farm and not look at them in the eyes, not have names for them. And yeah, that was just me. My friends used to say, "You just didn't get hungry enough." I guess not. I was a wimp. Okay, so do you want me, number one, to work on this quilt and get it over? This one is due in February. It's okay. Or should I finish my great granddaughter's quilt so she can get it for Christmas? Her pink pillow is over there too, but it has a different handle than her sister's. I'm the only one that I know. I like putting handles on my quilts because, like Tampa Creek was saying, she carries her pillow around. I had a pillow when I was growing up. Auntie Joanne will tell you it was down in it, and it was so soft. Getting better, Dolores, and hope you're feeling better too. Let's say hello, Dolores and Joanne. So my pillows, I put a strap on it. And what this little strap does, you can put it on your luggage. You can put it on your luggage if you want to. Oh, they're saying work out on my great granddaughter's quilt. Oh, she'll like that. She came by here and she said, "Nana, you have to make me a quilt." What child asked their great grandmother, "Nana, you have to make me a quilt, a new quilt." That's how she asked. And my daughter would say, your great grandchildren. Yeah, because they know I'll do it. So this one I thought was actually kind of cute. This hedgehog. I used the fabric, whatever I had. I put this little heart on it in yellow. So Joanne says, finish my granddaughters. Finish those needing healing. Okay, Simone. Simone, you're getting the quilt, your quilt, because everybody said Nana has to take care of her family. Why? Because family is everything. And I would like to encourage each of you to do what you love and love what you do. I don't always feel good every day. I've getting over some surgeries and stuff this year. And some of you heard the story when my dog walker used to come take Mr. Hershey just for 20 minutes. That was all I could sew. And I would come in here and wait for him to come back to the door. And I would sew for 20 minutes, half an hour. That was it. Tampa's Creek says two. Okay, everybody wants me to do Simone's quilt. Simone. Okay, you guys, let's do this thing. Okay, it's already over there. Slowly I turned, inch by inch, step by step. I have to tell you guys a funny story, but I have to put this down so I don't drop it and make you laugh. So, almost homesteading with Janet, if you haven't seen her video, and she's not in the chat. I don't usually talk about people who are not in the chat. But her and her husband just bought a homestead in Indiana. And she said that it needs a lot of work, right? And she said she thought about me saying about where I live and work in the same area. I basically live in my studio. My whole apartment is my studio. I do whatever I want all over the place. When I go to Arizona, I try not to trash my sister's whole house, although I will have pillow making down in the den. We're all stuffing pillows with these like 10 pounds of polyfill. The bedroom I sleep in, the bedroom that I use for a studio for a month, the bathroom that I use, all my stuff that she finds when I'm gone. You saw Janet's video. Isn't that cute? I have bought houses where they needed work, and I basically painted one bedroom, and then I moved in there, and I had to paint one room at a time, hire somebody to paint over the staircase in the second floor, that real tall part that goes back in the corner. It took me years. I upgraded that house, the electricity from 60 amps to 200. I put a new roof on the house in the garage. I made there was a basement, first floor, second floor, and a pull down attic that I made into something. And I ride by that house. It's not too far from here. And I'm like, why did I even have that big house? It wasn't big, but it was big for one person. That was when I used to have Hannibal Sissy, German Rottweiler. Okay, you guys, so let's get to working on Simone's quilt for a while. So you guys are going to keep me company while I sew it. So I'm going to change the stitch length to 3.5. So check the bobbin. For those of you who are new to sewing, I don't like stopping to thread bobbins and unsew the machine. So I have a small thread winder, and between projects, I will just do a whole case of bobbins, and I have different bobbins for different machines. The Singer heavyweight bobbins. Oh, I know. Let me show you guys something. Singer machines are pretty standard, but I bought these. I'll see if I can show you. There's a little notch on the side that you put it to to start threading it. I don't know. Can you see it? It's square. It's not that little round hole that you put, and it's like double, 2.5 times the regular size. So I bought some of these on Amazon. You can buy you can buy pre-filled bobbins, but you know what? When I have a I'm not going to show you that mess over there. I'm not going to show you that mess over there. But my embroidery machine is over there. Hey, Donzel Cooper. You're not late. You're just on time. Thanks for coming. My embroidery machine, when I took the class that came with it, they told me that not to use the pre-wound bobbins, to wind your own. Why? I forgot why. Maybe it's in my notes. But I I do rewind. I do wind my own, and the little bobbin winder that I use is actually broken. I had it. I bought one of the newer ones. It didn't work as well as the old one, so I gave it to one of my friends. The one that gave me that printed African panel. That's what friends do. So what these are, the stage I'm at with my great granddaughter's quilt, I have all the pieces cut for the pink side. I have them already sandwiched with the X. So now what I'm doing is sewing twosies together. So maybe you guys will hang with me tonight so I get her twosies done. So that I get her twosies done. By the way, her birthday was August 26th. The other one's birthday was July 6th. They still didn't get their pillows. Their pillows are here, but I'm going to give it to them with their quilt. So I've got a pin in where this goes. Sorry if I move that too fast. And I'm going to sew a 5/8 inch seam to connect these two. I sew barefooted. Does anybody else sew barefooted? I can't sew with socks on or shoes on my foot. Ouch. I do if I go out in public, but at home, I don't know why I keep sticking myself on that one. So here we go. So let me put this over here. You guys, let me know if I miss anything. So we're just going to sew through this row. And I will try to keep an eye on the chat. It says something went wrong. Retry. You killed me. Okay, live chat. Okay, now I see you guys in here. Now I can see you. So let's go, Simone. Let's go, team. And you don't have to, Tampa and anybody else who was sewing for the first time, you see these don't have to be perfect like the ones I was showing you with the 1/4 inch seam and all that. None of that. This is a very forgiving quilt. So I'm just going to do a few stitches forward, a few back, and tear this thing up. We're going to town. Okay, I'm biased. Now this is the kind of quilt I sew fast on. Nobody cares. And I'm chain piecing them. This is a little gadget. For some of you, no, I don't get paid for showing you. You like barefoot on the presser foot too? Grounded. So what this is, it has a razor blade in it. It's a thread cutter for chain piecing. But guess what? I'm so OCD-ish that I like to cut both pieces of the thread so there's none hanging down to be trimmed later on. So I hardly ever use it. But I bought it on sale, so it didn't matter. Okay, Simone. If Grandma tells you when you get there today, she doesn't live there, but they go by to see my mom. They can tell you Nana's working on Simone's quilt. Sydney's is finished with the sewing. Just checking it. This little machine I bought you guys is a Singer heavy duty model 4423. And the reason I bought this one is just for this. I have some vintage machines, some other machines. I used to have a lot of machines. I used to have a shop at my house, and I had 35 machines at the time, including a long arm machine. But I downsized, and I didn't want to use any of the fancy machines for this or for my denim, things that I'm just roughnecking. So I use this for stuff like, and I just love it. And it sews through anything. It has an automatic buttonholer. You can ask Rachel and Bias. She has videos on how to use it. So I guess I sewed too fast for that. Now that's not what happened. What happened is that the thread and the thread holder is twisted some kind of way back here. So I had someone new helping me this week, and other people put things different places. Or like when you live with people, they put things in different places, and you just have to look for them. I love to cook. When I cook and I can cook anywhere, anytime, any place, but it takes me longer when I'm in a strange kitchen. Why? Because I have to look for everything. I don't know where the colander is. Me, when I cut the thread, I have something that's exactly right here in arm's length. So now these are my fancy glasses. Can't see those. Take them off. Where's my Dollar Tree glasses? Baby, these super coolers. Hey, Frugal Mama. Thanks for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. These Coca-Cola bottle things, boy, they magnify everything, not just the lower half or lower piece of your glasses. So 1 second. While I thread the needle. Actually, I threaded it, but I pulled it back out. 1 second. It's actually getting dark and it's like different shadows. I'm not able to use those ring lights because of my glaucoma. When you thread your sewing machine, and sometimes your hand needles, when you thread those, if it breaks for some reason or does something funny, cut the end of the thread and put a fresh end on it, because sometimes it's frayed a little bit and you don't know it. So now I can take off my super coolers and try to look cute again. Growing with Hudson. Hey G Hud, how you doing, Q? I appreciate all of y'all. So right now what I'm doing is trying to get my great granddaughter's Christmas present ready. Oh, you know what, you guys? Not this, because this doesn't matter. But a funny thing, whenever you're chain piecing, what you don't want to happen is if you don't doing it rough like I'm doing it and you don't have pins, you do not want, and I repeat, you do not want the thread to break or come apart in here and all your pieces are out of order going every which way. I'm sure Greenland Katie can tell you about that. Or the awkward quilter from Georgia. That is the worst nightmare ever, trying to get those things back in order. So now I'm sewing again. I thought the tension was a little bit weird on that one. You guys, I also have a heavyweight industrial machine in the corner. As soon as I get my cameras together, I'm going to start using it. My mother gave it to me because I'm the only one of her children that likes to sew. that likes to sew primarily. My sister Joanne Stevens is a glass artist. She has sewing machines. She sews. She's been quilting lately by hand, exquisitely, and doing some stuff with fiber arts and fabrics. She's got a lot of fabric too. Did I miss anything, you guys? So thanks for keeping me company while I am sewing on the family quilt. So for those of you who just came in, you can, and Hudson has one of my collectible quilts. It's really, really pretty. She loves handmade things. And Hudson, if you go back to the beginning, you'll see some of the fabrics that I took out in doing some of the other fancier quilts that I work on that are for that I might put in quilt shows, or when they ask for one person exhibits or they have a call for artists. I do this so that I can pass this art along because I'm hoping, actually, a couple of you did. I won't mention your names, but about 3 or 4 of you have started quilting because of coming into the channel. That makes me feel good because I know that when I'm eating applesauce in the sky and looking down at social media, that you guys will be passing this art on to others. I saw Crafty Leo and Unbiased last night. So when they don't never want to play with me, I don't care. And I don't want to play with you either. I'm just teasing them. They made the nicest bags. The nicest bags. And Crafty Leo is making them and stuffing them with gifts. What a great Christmas idea, you guys. I think that's the coolest Christmas idea. So now I'm sewing twosies together. Then when I finish sewing these twosies together, which are one pink and one purple block to each other, and then I'll switch them so that no pink is touching another pink and no purple is touching another purple. And they call that foursies. Some people don't backspace. These quilts, I'm giving them to the kids. I'm encouraging them to dog them. Oh, and then you know what, you guys? I like putting heavy cotton in mine. This is thick cotton. It's 80-20, 80% cotton, 20% whatever polyester, because it gives it a little puff and puts a little weight on it as opposed to 100% cotton. But I like it because the quilt itself, by fringing it and having those thick seams, that's what makes it heavy. And it's like a weighted blanket, that is used in therapy. And it's also somewhat of a fidget quilt for people who need to touch something tactile. This quilt serves for all three. So back to the drawing board. We're going to get our twosies done. We're twosies done. Twosies done. We're going to get our twosies done. La 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 la. I'm glad you guys. Because do they already have batting in the middle? Or is it just material to material? No, these were pieces of fabric that I put together. This one has a purple top, a cotton batting, and a flannel in the back. And then you make sure with the flannel that the fuzzy side is on the outside. And with the pink one, the same thing. Now, the other great granddaughter's quilt, I didn't put flannel. I just put fabric on both sides of her because she has like sensitive skin. I didn't know if this flannel would be too soft and irritate her. Like feel like something's crawling on you. You didn't take your silhouette out the box. Okay, Hudson. I took my Cricut out after 4 years. The Cricut something Air 2 that I had for since I moved in this apartment. I bought a bunch of toys, and then I couldn't get to them because that corner back there was so piled up. Then I had somebody come help me take my embroidery machine out and all those cases. Now I can get back there. So, and PIA, I've already gone. Gotta go now. Thank you so much, Awkward Quilter. And I will be doing replays. I know you go live. I think it's on Sunday. I'm usually at church doing family stuff. Appreciate you. And we're going to come over and bring you some love too. Thank you. Thank you. This is I love you in American Sign Language. Thanks, Awkward Quilter of Georgia. So, all these are cut. And Dolores is Awkward Quilter. Glad to see you and hope to see more of you. Yes, we do. And you guys, there's no right or wrong way to go about the quilting. Everybody has a different style. Everybody has a different flavor. Like cooking. You know, I made the analogy, like some people like sugar in their grits. Some people say, ew, you don't put sugar in grits. Some people like sugar in their cornbread. Ew, you don't put sugar in cornbread. Do what you love and love what you do. Everybody gets to put on their own big boys or big girls in the morning. I was just checking to make sure the bobbin didn't run out of thread. So get to the end, backspace, keep it moving. As I was saying, everybody doesn't backspace, but I do it because I know these kids are going to be playing tug of war and everything else. They're not kids. This one is 21. The other one is 18. But I want them to enjoy these quilts. These are not like the fancy quilts. I want them to be able to have these 50 years from now when they are 76 years old, like I will be in 2 weeks. Are there any questions? Cakey cornbread. Oh, Mikey, that's how you like yours? That's how Joanne Stevens and Uncle Roscoe like theirs. They like the cake cornbread. I take it either. I make it different ways. Sometimes I put buttermilk in it. Sometimes I make my own buttermilk. Sometimes I use carnation milk. I just do whatever I feel and whatever's in the house. But it always has that good butter. I was the oldest of 6, so it was always my job to be the sous chef and help out in the kitchen. I started out on a stool washing dishes and helping mommy. Gutson says, yum. Who was it? Oh, and I make mine in cast iron. Sometimes I use a casserole dish. Bougie Prepper did a couple videos using some of my recipes, one for my apple cake and one for my cornbread. I just make it from scratch. I could just come in your door. I used to have a friend in North Carolina. For those of you who don't know, I had a homestead in North Carolina for 40 years, even though I didn't personally always live there. And one of my friends is a quilter. And she lived between where I live and Rocky Mount, where I used to go shopping a lot in North Carolina. And she would say, girl, stop by here and have some coffee with me. I would go by and have coffee, and she would have a can of peaches out or blueberries or whatever. She said, why don't you make us a little cobbler while you're here? So she would have the carnation milk out that I use for my crust. You love sugar in your cornbread. You like both sweet and non-sweet. Same here, Hudson. I always keep ingredients for cornbread, for anything. Biscuits. I can make biscuits several ways. The easiest is to use the self-rising flour and heavy whipping cream. Then you don't have to do anything else. Or you can make buttermilk cornbread. You can make your own. I make my own baking powder, which is different than baking soda. I like to cook. I like to cook. You said breads. Oh, I watch you, Hudson. You make some good breads, especially when you make your artesian breads. Hudson likes to bake, you guys. But you guys, don't forget to drop your channel link by putting, hey Kelly, I bring it every day. Janet, I was talking about you behind your back. Almost homesteading with Janet. There is because you just got your new homestead, and I was telling them about a house that I bought. In fact, it was around the corner from where this apartment is right now. And how I had to clean out one room and paint it and move in. And then over the years, I don't know how long I stayed in that house. Maybe not in it, but I had it for about 10 years. I'm going to go by there one day and take a little video of it, you guys. Cutest house, one of those old New England colonials that was built in 1927. It even had a wooden ironing board that came with the house, right? And I was like, I didn't want that old junk. I went and dragged it out. Thank you. Dolores says, if you want a custom piece, you can email me, Auntie Ellen, if you'd like to help support the channel, or by joining the membership Cash App. And she has it in the chat. Thanks, you guys. So that house, the biggest mistake I made with that house, I hired a plumber to put a new sink in the kitchen. No, to put new cabinets in. The cabinets were old, made out of metal. Again, I said that house was built in 1927. I bought that house in 1999. And it was old then. And the plumber, the electrician, next thing I know, the heavy cast iron sink was out at the curb, all dinged up, because he said I didn't need it to get another one, that was built in. That broke my heart. And the sink had like a built-in draining rack, and the water would go out of it. I just love that thing. I think about that all the time. So I was telling you about me and the ironing board. The closet had a built-in sleeve for ironing shirts. I didn't iron shirts. I was working then. They went in the cleaners. I was trying to pay the mortgage on that bad boy. So my mother said, you put that ironing board out on the street? She said, that's a priceless antique. I went out there, brought my ironing board back in the house, started raining on it, got a little bit of rust on it. That ironing board is sitting right in this apartment today. The nicest ironing board. I don't know what water I was on then. So we're just going to sew these twosies together. And then I'll show you what the next step is. And then we will stop for the evening. It's Thursday, so Miss Shirley O.G. Gardner goes on tonight at 7 o'clock. Odom goes on, I think, at 8 or 9 o'clock. I'm not quite sure. You guys could check. But support each other. And, often many of us, because it's just life is just what it is, you have to go on and maintain your channel while somebody you care about is on. That's okay. Most people have more than one device. Most people have more than one device. I feel guilty sometimes. People will say, oh, we have 20 people in the chat, and only 19 thumbs up. I feel so bad, and I don't want to tell anybody. 2 of them are me, but I can only put the thumbs up once. Why? Because I'm laying in the bed on my keister, my big old fat boom boom, watching on TV and chatting on my phone. So I'm sure that's what other people are doing too. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Miss Shirley says, thanks for the shout out. You're welcome, sis. You're welcome. So I don't know why. We're both in 6A. She's in 6A, 6B. But our weather is so much different. She gets so much more rain. We've had a drought here this summer. We've had a drought. I'm getting out here this weekend. One of my friends said they're going to help me plant my garlic, help me get some of the leaves up so that I can save them and put them in my beds in the summer. What else did I? Oh, I know what else. Look at this. This is just store celery. I cut it this morning and I put it over by the arrow garden. I don't want to spill water on my computer. Can you see this? This part of the celery is growing already. I have so much celery out there from store cuttings. I gave some away to one of my friends yesterday, a whole handful. A whole handful. I just love growing stuff and sharing and talking to it. You had a drought in Tennessee also, Hudson. I send my quilts to a long armor in Tennessee when I get them done. Are you using your quilt that you got from me, Hudson? And your bag? Let me know in the chat if you're actually using them. Because I make things and I make them well so that you don't have to be afraid to use them or think that they're going to fall apart. I am making this quilt, so it's not going to fall apart. So now their brother is going to say, well, Nana, you made both of them one. Where's mine? He wouldn't say that. He's such a good guy. He is 6'2". He's 16. And he's finally putting on weight. He's a string bean, but Mommy told me he weighs 175 pounds. I don't know where it is. Must be in his shoes. Must be in his sneakers because he sure is the thinnest person in the whole house. Do you still need comfort? Yes, Hudson, please. I'm sitting up there now. I have to take my earrings out. I want to make some comfrey salve. I have so many problems with my skin. Look at this. My sister Joanne says, how is it still so dark after 2 years? Can you see this little piece of skin hanging out? It's like, I don't know if it's eczema or what it is, but my skin keeps peeling. So I don't want to put any more medicine from the doctor on it. I stopped. I want to put some, I even tried putting the Vicks on it. I want to make some comfrey salve. And they say if comfrey can heal bones, broken bones, it should be able to heal my elbow. I'm going to mix it with dandelions and make some comfrey dandelion salve. I was in Mona's and Felicia's live the other night, and I have a little confession to make that I've got some grape juice wine bubbling and some tea wine. Mother, your daughter's over here making wine again. But I make really good wine, you guys. Real wine. I made ginger wine before. It was something like ginger beer, and it was supposed to be good for your stomach. And it was just like making the ginger wine. It was like making ginger beer, except I put wine yeast in it and sugar, and instead of kombucha, you put a SCOBY in it, like for the tea wine. But instead, you put wine yeast, and I only use cane sugar. But you know what? Unbiased told me about something. I bought a gallon of molasses this summer, and I put molasses. I'm tired a lot. I put molasses in my coffee, and it made me feel better. I appreciate you guys keeping me company. because this certainly would not have gotten done tonight, these twosies. And look, I'm almost done. I only have a couple more, thanks to you guys. Simone, Nana's being good. She's working on your quilt. It's finally past where it was when you came here 2 weeks ago. I only had those first 2 blocks that I showed you. Those were the only 2 done when she stopped by. And she's so cute. I left some stuff out there in storage because I was going to go live. And she said, Nana, I want to come up and give you a hug. Girl, don't come up and give me a hug. I'm trying to go live in 10 minutes. So she said, nope, Nana, I'm coming up and give you a hug and Hershey a hug. So, okay, I said, well, I'm going to meet her. I'm going to go down to the back door and catch her. I get downstairs. The bottom bobbin went out. No problemo. Because why? Auntie Ellen has a whole box of bobbins wound. Look how easy it is to put a new bobbin in, you guys. Da-da-da-da-da-da. So I get off the elevator. I see this tall person striding down the hall. Who was it? My great-granddaughter. I have such assertive kids, you guys. I don't know where they got. Good night, Maria. Hope you feel better. Janice, oh, you're watching from the homestead. That is so cool. You don't have Wi-Fi out there. You must be somewhere civilized using your data. So thank you, Janet. I can't wait to see all the wild stuff you're going to be growing and foraging over there. Okay, so now I like to pull the bobbin thread up before I put the case back on. So now I pull the bobbin thread up. I'm going to pull your threads to the back, put the case back on. And if I wasn't talking, you know how you watch the Indianapolis 500, you watch the car shows, and they change the tires real quick on the pit stops? That's what this would have been if I wasn't running my chops. I once bought some land, my second husband and I, in West Virginia, up in the mountains and hollers. And when we went there to look at it, it was eight acres at the time. We had the property in North Carolina, but we went up there and there were people that were living in school buses. You know, you could see the smokestacks and everything. And if you stand at a specific spot, you have a signal, not just inside. That's how it was in my North Carolina property. And you had to aim it where it was between the tree signals. Or there was a dirt road you could ride to and get a signal for important calls. Oh, so we were going up these mountains in Berkeley Springs, and there were no roads up there on the property. There were like tiny 1-lane roads going up there. And then the people were living in those school buses. Now I see the small school buses. I would love to have one of those on wheels and travel around the country, bothering y'all, popping in on you, parking. Let's see. Yeah, a small one would fit in Auntie Joanne's driveway. In the driveway. Whoops. You see me? My hand's getting tired. So now this is the last one. So I'm just going to show you the next process because PIA, you got this. You can do this. You can all do this. And I will be closing up in a minute. I just want to show you guys. Uh-oh. Something funny is here. I don't know why. I'll show you why I said something is, oh. maybe I ran out. I told you guys I was using what I had. Okay, so, oh, I thought this one, yeah, this one has two purples instead of one purple and one pink. We'll see what's up with that. But anyway, what I'm going to show you is how this thingamajig works. So, there she is. So, I'm going to turn it this way. You can still see it. And then, because I can't, and then you just push it over it like this. So this is how this little thread cutter works. You just keep pulling it. And pulling it. So this is a total of 48 blocks. These blocks are 10, I cut them 10.5 inches. And the batting PIA, I cut 9.5 inches. Going back to your earlier question, I'm not sure if I answered it. I wanted to clarify it. So I put the 9.5 inch batting inside the two 10.5 inch squares. You can use any size square you want. Just cut the batting 1 inch smaller. So because I knew what size I was cutting, so these are going to be 6 blocks across and 10 down. So my next thing, what I will be doing is I'm going to reverse the next two that I sew. This I just keep up here. Why? Because I use the tall spools. So now, just so that I can remember, they say to press to the dark. Nah, oh, that was Janet. So I'm going to pretend this is pressed to the dark this way, to the dark fabric this way, and I'm going to put the seams together. I'm not even going to iron them. I'm going to match these up. Joanne Stevens says, nice work, sissy. Nice work. So I'm putting the pin right in this seam. I'm matching it up in the middle. And I'm just going to sew this one to show you. Now, some people like to iron their seams open. Again, this is like, you like your cornbread sweet, you like it savory, do what you want. Me, I want to show you something. Why I push my seams over to the side, okay? You do what you want to do. But if you iron the seams open, you see this? There's 2 here and 2 there. If I push this seam open, there's 2 here, 2 there. Well, when you sew it across, it's going to be thinner, but guess what? If I push one to one side and I chose to push to the dark, you see what's happening? I'm sewing through 4 thicknesses here. 4 thicknesses. 4 thicknesses instead of 2. To me, it makes it a sturdier quilt. So I want to show you something else I do. I made up these weird things. Nobody else does them except me. And you don't have to do them this way. And people will say, well, I saw such and such a channel, and she has 500,000 subscribers, so she must really know what she's doing. Okay, do you, baby? Because it's no skin off my back. I just know what I do. But what I wanted to show you is when I get to this seam here, that's already going to be 4 across. And this heavy duty machine, baby girl. Oh, her name is Taylor, by the way. Auntie Joanne has a granddaughter named Taylor. She's a softball player at UCLA. So, okay, so we're getting to the seams. I had to stop and think for a minute. Then I press this way and this way. So what I do, nobody else does it, I backstitch a little bit. Why? Because it's my quilt and I can do whatever I want to do. And that, it's like when you start the beginning of a row and an end. And that just gives it more stability. So my kids can pull on it, do whatever they want to. And it's going to take a licking and keep on ticking. Okay, so check this out. Because I'm going to call it a night so that you guys can have your dinner and do whatever. So this is a 4Z. So this is a 4Z. You see this? And then when I eventually cut this open, this is so much sturdier. I don't have my big scissors, but I'll just show you. I mean, I have special ones. When you buy rag scissors like these, there are no scissors you can buy that are sharper than these. And they're very long. They're 10-inch or 8-inch, something like that. But these scissors, you have to close them, you have to open them. When you do this a few hundred, a few thousand corrections, sew up the seam on each side. Can you sew, wait a minute, can you sew up the seams in the middle from each side? Yes, but you don't have to sew them from each side. Where's the most economical place to get batting? You can get it, you can wait and get a sale on Walmart, or this is one of those things when Joann Fabrics has a sale and you buy one thing at 100%. That's what you do. So I'm going to show you. So now that let's pretend this whole quilt is sewn like Sydney's quilt is. So what you never want to do is cut the seam. So because these are sharp, so and I cut like almost, I'll say through 2/3 of the way to where the seam is. You see this, and this sticks up. This side, I'm doing it on the pink because you can see it. You can't see it on the purple. This side in the corner, I just put a little cut. It doesn't matter as long as you're not cutting on the stitching. You see this? As long as you're not cutting on the stitching. Then I would cut every 1/4 inch or every 1/3 of an inch, every 1/2 of an inch, whatever you want. Whatever you want. It doesn't have to be anything. So then I take this one. This one is a 4-patch, right? So this quilt is going to be 6 blocks across and 8 down. So what I will do is sew these 4 patches together until I get 8 in a row. And then I'll sew another set of 4 patches, 8 in a row, and then another one. And then the quilt, sew them to each other, and the quilt is done. Let me see if I missed any questions. Are there any questions? And then the magic happens when you wash it. And when you wash it, don't leave the laundry room when you're doing it. Like let it I washed it in warm water and I put it in the dryer, or you can put it on hot. It's the hotter you put it, the more it's going to shrink. But it's fine. It's just fine. When it shrinks and gets thicker, it'll just make it heavier and warmer. This is the warmest quilt because the extra seams, these thick seams, give it the weight. Do you see how thick these seams are? That's weight that's going to fluff up and hold you down. This will hold you down. So again, this is like a fidget quilt. You can touch all these ruffles. It's like a weighted blanket. You will be so cozy up under here. Are there any more questions? Let me see if I missed anything. I appreciate each and every one of you. Mother, I think my mother should use her quilt, her denim quilt. She has it. I will attach a link in here. Oh, you guys, share, please share out my video with my mother's king size denim quilt. It took me almost a year to collect all the jeans, cut them up, and guess what? YouTube did not YouTube did not even show it to 100 people. They didn't let anybody see my video. PIA says, how do you close up the seams on the back? You don't. I'll show you. I think I know what you mean. Hold on. So, Tracy, whoops. Well, let me show you. Okay. So this quilt, this one is done. This is her sister's quilt. So this one, all the foursies are sewn together. You see, this is rows 5 and 6. And I just put tape on it just so that I can see them. So what I do is to finish the quilt, and you see I sew both seams over. What I do is you go around the outer edges. You see these? And I made these even bigger. I made these 1 inch. You know why? Because I want to have a big fringe. And this cotton on the inside is going to fringe too. So what you do is sew around the outer edges of the quilt, Tracy. And you go around all 4 sides. So this quilt is virtually finished. It's finished except for the fringing. So I'm going to just do this so I can show you guys and answer your question. So I'll do this in the corner just so that you see it. It's just a little corner snip. I want to snip this. Okay, so now you can see it. So snip, 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 and I'm not going to snip where the seam is. Does that answer your question, Tracy? So now this quilt, because I've already gone around the edges. Oh, no, that's not a quilt. Silly rabbit. That was just a 4-patch. So this one is already finished. You see the whole back is closed up. It's closed up. Closed up. And it's so warm and heavy. And I'm going to wash it in some good soap and put some nice downy in it so you can smell it. It's going to smell so good. It's going to smell so good. Are there any other questions? I tell you guys, you can make some of these for Christmas. And a lot of people like to use flannel. I'm not crazy about flannel. I don't like the way flannel, it peels up, the back rolls off. I put the one for Simone with flannel because of the baby, so that it'll be soft against his skin. And I like cotton. Cotton will last 100 years. They have linens in Buckingham Palace that have been there for 200 years. So, Mike, you can make one of these for your wife. You should make one. Look at all this beautiful purple. Oh, look at all this beautiful purple. And so each block to block, the same age as, stay like that. Let me see. So, okay, each block to block, you mean like this? Yes. See, this is the back of this one. And you know what? I wasn't even sure. I was holding my breath. I try to get the seam straight so that they meet. So they meet. I put one pin in there. You can't tell it from the front, but you see from the back, you can see the seams are perfect. But when you fringe this all up, it's going to be just all everywhere, so that you won't even be able to see down there. You'll just be able to feel it. seam edges. So block to block, the seam edges stay like that. Yes. When this is washed, when it's washed, it turns into fringe. Do you want me to go get one? I can go get one real quick. Put a one in the chat if you want to see one that's totally finished. Okay, no commercials, just hold on. Because all right, here I go. Okay, so here's my favorite quilt. This is a memory quilt. When my dad passed, I took his old shirts and old pants, and I made a memory quilt. Remember, ARD's father got one. These are just for really real old shirts. All these in the middle, these flannel ones. This one, I almost cry every time I touch it. It's got paint on it. My dad was a painting and trucking contractor, and the paint was on the shirt. It was one of his old work shirts. Now I've been using this quilt every day for the last 10 years when I put mine together. So when Daddy passed, Mommy he used to wear his work pants. Cece, thanks for coming. And my mother would say, Pen Pen, go fix Daddy's pants, because my dad was 6'4", and he was bedridden for a while, or he couldn't stand easily. So the nurse or whoever was helping him stand up, he had one of those thick, like I call them lumberjack, thick leather belts, and they would use that to help him stand up. And those loops would rip off. So Mommy would say, Pen Pen, here, fix Daddy's pants. Fix Daddy's pants? Mom, I'm going to work. You know how much money I'm going to make on my job? I'm not fixing them pants. I go buy him another pair. And he wore like 32, 36 or 32, 30, big, long pants. So when he passed, I had gray totes full of pants. And his old shirts, when he stopped working, he would wear like dress shirts. When I say dress shirts, flannel shirts, but they didn't have paint on them. I just saved the old ones. But then this one, because it was made out of clothes, when you buy fabric, you can make bigger blocks because it's wider. When you're making clothes, I cut the block smaller. These started out at 9.5-inch blocks with 8.5-inch batting. And this little thing, it's heavy, you guys. So you see the X's on the back? You see how it turned into fringe when I washed it? Then I decided, okay, my boom boom is too big. I turn over and there's a chicken wing sticking out. Turn over there's a turkey tail sticking out. So just recently, after I finished ARD's quilt, I did this one first. Then I had what's left of this shirt, and I did the quilt for ARD. Gate belt. I don't know if that's yes, Janet, it was a gate belt, because sometimes you could hold them to walk. You put the gate belt through the other belt, I think. You have a lot of brothers hankies that are silk that you love to make a quilt out of. That's nice. When my dad passed, I had a tote with all of his ties. Daddy used to dress really, really well, and he was so tall, you couldn't buy his clothes on a rack. So he had to have custom-made suits, and his shirt, everything had to be tailored for him because he was tall and slim. And I had all of his, Ralph Lauren silk ties, Oscar de la Renta. I saw Unbiased doing Oscar de la Renta something tie, and that reminded me of that. And then you just came across of Dad's old shirts and blocks that I sent you, Joanne? Yes. Thank you. And I had them in a special tote. So I had a friend helping me to packs the few things that I was saving to bring to Connecticut when I downsized. So guess what? They said they repacked. I'm using they because I'm not even going to go there. And it's one of those things that happen in families and or friends or whatever. And that whole tote, Auntie Joanne saved all my dad's good ties for me. My brother Bill retired. He was a chief executive officer and he saved me all of his best ties and I saved them for an art quilt. This individual stole all of the silk ties, all of my good ties, all of them. So not only were they ties, but they had sentimental value because they were daddy's. Yes, they were. They were. I'm sure that he's still wearing them to church and wherever else. But that's life. C'est la vie. Any more questions, you guys? So PIA, did you have any more questions? So this one is now, oh, and here's the original label I put on it when I made this one. It says Daddy, Joseph Pankey Sr., March 27th, 1927 to February 22nd, 2008. And I always put the size of the quilt. This one was 42 inches wide by 66 inches long. I'm 65 inches long. And I finished it in Norwalk, Connecticut in 2015. But I had recently added a row around the whole thing to make it wider and to make it longer because now, before, when it was the exact same height as me, I could tuck my feet in, my neck would be out. Or I could put my neck in and my feet would be out. Now it's big enough that I can do everything. And I didn't have any more of his clothes, but guess what? I still have his in the middle. And scroll up. Okay. Okay. Let me see. PIA had a question I didn't answer. Hold on, you guys, because I want to be able to answer you. Hello, Janet. I see people speaking. Okay. How about this, PIA? Oh, you said you started to say something to you, and I got sidetracked. It was about finishing the quilt. I think that's what it was about finishing the quilt. And you can do this, or just get the fabrics, get them cut out. I know for sure you can put the X on it, right? And then call me and I'll drop a link and you can come up and we can do it face to face and we can all enjoy you. We can do it together. Any of you that would like to do this, let me know. Email me, ellenpankey@gmail.com. But it's in my something description on YouTube. Oh, Dolores put it in the chat already. Okay, so now I don't know what to do. I'm touching things. I hate scrolling up. I don't want to accidentally. You asked if you use silk and satin. Oh, the hankies. You can use silk and you can use satin. If you're talking about using it for a rag quilt, it won't be as durable unless you put a stabilizer on the back of it. You can use it, but it's a lot more gentle fabric. It's not as rugged. It's not as rugged. And you can put stabilizer on the back of any fabric to make it stronger. You can use, some people collect the old handkerchiefs, and the handkerchiefs are thin. You can just add stabilizer to the back of it. Or if you want to say add a fabric that's thin to something like jeans, the thin fabric you can add stabilizer. Iron-on stabilizer is easier and just attach it. Does anybody else have any questions? I'd like to see you guys make one for Christmas for somebody. Are there any more questions, you guys? Okay, well, don't forget to check out Odom and Miss Shirley later on. Mother, I love you. Egawamote. I, in American Sign Language, you guys, love you. I love you. Thanks for coming. And this was a great live. I hope to see more of